Well, if this is the end, let's see if they go out with a bang. Hello everybody, I'm KC, and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About. Today, let's talk about the latest episode of Gravity Falls, Weirdmageddon Part 2, Escape from Reality. Well, this episode suddenly just got a whole lot more weight to it, but we'll talk about that later. For now, let's just talk about the episode itself. After the episode opens by showing us that no squirrel in Gravity Falls is ever safe from anything, we find out what exactly is in Mabel's bubble. A fantasy world that Mabel controls and creates anyone's greatest fantasy to make them happy. Hey, I was right! It is like Digimon! I just got the wrong season. By the way, Seuss's fantasy being to play catch with his dad? Not cool, guys. Brilliant and poignant, but really not cool. Mabel Land itself is like a Tale of Two Stands Mabel edition. By that I mean that this place is oozing with background details. There are callbacks in every corner to almost every fun, creative, and romantic thing that Mabel has done throughout the course of the series, including the return of Xyler and Kraz. They almost stole the show here. They certainly had the best jokes in the episode. And when they came in as Mabel's lawyers, where's that spin-off? Why aren't there shorts on Xyler and Kraz as attorneys? I'd watch the hell out of that. The rest of Mabel Land is insanely creative, and has me once again praising the animation and background team, especially for managing to not make such an extreme color palette a complete eyesore. This place also has some of the great background details that this show is known for. One of my favorites is Mabel's sweaters acting like birds in her world. I don't know why, but I thought that was such an inventive detail, and it got a big laugh out of me. But Mabel Land isn't just a visual wonder, it's also a test for our beloved mystery twins. Mabel seems perfectly happy there at first, which raises the question, does she remember her deal with Bill? I mean, all she says is that she was sad about Dipper leaving and then woke up in Mabel Land. It's not entirely clear, but if she doesn't, won't that be an interesting revelation in the next episode? While Mabel keeps trying to convince herself that this is what will make her truly happy, Dipper is constantly trying to get out. No matter how much this realm tries, he doesn't give in to temptation. He just wants to save Mabel. This story says a lot about Dipper and Mabel as characters, and shows how far they've come since the beginning of the summer. One of Mabel's big motivations in the series is making others happy in any way she can. Now that she's in control of a world that can manifest their desires right in front of them, of course she'd want to stay, especially once Dipper and the others get there. Even if it's not real, it's making people happy. But she gets so lost in the world and what it can do that she doesn't see how hollow it all is. Maybe Bill has some kind of influence on her to convince her of that, maybe not. Either way, I think it works. Dipper, on the other hand, knows and cares about Mabel so much that he knows this isn't really making her happy. He might have caught on to that pretty quickly, but it's kind of hard to tell. All he wants to do is get Mabel to come back with them, but to do that, he has to appear in court. Quick shout out to Jon Stewart here. Alex Hirsch always wanted him on the show, and he finally got him. I wonder how tough it was for Hirsch to keep that under wraps for so long. Jon Stewart does give a fun performance. I honestly wouldn't have recognized him if they didn't announce his appearance a couple days before. The trial scene as a whole is the best in the episode. I've already talked about the funny moments with Jon Stewart, Xyler, and Kraz, but there was a lot more to it. Those flashbacks with Dipper and Mabel were a nice touch, and it is interesting to see some of the twins' lives outside of Gravity Falls, even if it is only for a few seconds. But this trial, more than any other scene, illustrates and pretty much completes Dipper and Mabel's character arcs. This whole experience over the past couple episodes had Dipper realize that he doesn't do so great without Mabel in his life, that he wants to save the world and grow up with her, more than anything. Deciding not to accept Ford's apprenticeship wasn't forced on him by Mabel, it was entirely his choice. He decides to grow up with his sister. Dipper's a smart kid, he'll probably get more opportunities in the future. But now he's in no hurry. He decides to enjoy his childhood while it lasts, and to do that with the most important person in his life. This is what Dipper tells Mabel during the trial, that sometimes life is scary. It leads down rough paths and throws you curveballs. But by using the flashbacks that were being used against him before, he shows that bad times don't last forever. He shows her that they've gotten through all of those difficult times together, that they can always count on each other for support, something they wouldn't know if everything was perfect all the time. What I love most about this scene is that Dipper doesn't try to say that everything is always going to be happy. He says that there are going to be some scary times and rough patches, but they can get through them as long as they have each other. Mabel values her relationship with Dipper a lot, which is why she was so upset at him back in Dipper and Mabel vs. the Future. So after hearing that he'll grow up with her, and that they'll continue to support each other, she gives him a big sibling hug. Now, after they get out of the bubble, Mabel says that if Dipper wants to stay with Ford, she's okay with it. This was a very important touch, and I'm glad they put it in. It shows that Mabel has a new confidence in their relationship she didn't have before. She feels assured now that no matter what happens, and when they eventually go their separate ways, Dipper will be there for her, and she'll be there for him when they need each other most. Even if Dipper did stay with Ford, after that scene in the courtroom, I'm sure she would have been fine with it. But for now, they've still got Bill's mayhem to deal with. They head back to the shack and find not just Stan, but a ragtag group of Gravity Falls residents. Stan shows up again in literally the last 10 seconds of the episode, but hey, at this point I'll take what I can get. While all of this was going on, there was this small subplot of Bill finding out that he can't spread Weirdmageddon beyond the town. Since this may be the last time we can come up with theories, here's my best guess as to why this happened. Remember what Bill's deal was with Mabel? Specifically, he said that he could make summer in Gravity Falls last as long as Mabel wants. That did happen. Bill's odd-pocalypse made time stop in the town in part 1, but now we know the rest of the world has been completely unaware of Bill's chaos. The only reason Bill was able to start any of this was because he got the rift from Mabel after promising to make summer in Gravity Falls last. It may be some kind of restriction on his powers that Bill has to be bound to his deals as much as his victims. Bill may be good at manipulating, but he may have just gotten himself caught in his verbal traps. I get the feeling the deal is going to have a huge effect on the events to come. Speaking of the events to come, I think it's time to talk about the news. As most of you already know, the next episode of Gravity Falls will be an hour-long special, and the final episode of the show. I had a sinking feeling this was coming after the events of Dipper and Mabel vs. the Future, but I was still sad to hear it. At the same time, though, I'm glad Hirsch got to tell this story. I honestly have no idea where this will go in the final part, or how the show will come to an end, but knowing that Alex Hirsch has decided to end the show gives me assurance that it will be a satisfying conclusion. While I still say this would have been a great 3-season story, I respect Alex Hirsch and the team of Gravity Falls for deciding to end on a high note. All we can do now is hope that the final episode gives us a great conclusion to a wonderful series. Meanwhile, this episode had all the feels. A wonderful conclusion to Dipper and Mabel's character arcs. It did a fantastic job of reconnecting their relationship, which is something that could certainly be very helpful somewhere else. This episode also manages to have the same perfect blend of charm and humor that the show has become known for. Here's hoping the finale will deliver the same, and give these wonderful characters a happy ending. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.